Hello guys, this is Javelin at English Tutor Hub. Here is part 2 of the present perfect series, and this part is about the use and meaning. So this was or is a two-part lesson, alright? So it is in two parts with a separate video for each part, okay? So part 1, this is part 1, I've already done. And part 1, I explained the form, affirmative, negative, and question form. I also give you the spelling rules of past participles. And we also look at the correct position of adverbs and some exercises. In this video, part 2, we will look at how to use the present perfect and also the meaning, and quite important at the end, we will look at the differences with the past simple tense, because this often causes confusion. So let's start. Example: Tim, why is Anne not dancing ballroom? So Mark, she has fallen on the floor and injured. So the underlined word here, she has fallen, is the present perfect. And the explanation is, in fact, Mark doesn't need to say exactly when Anne fell on the floor. It is not important. So exactly when, the only thing is important is that it is in the past. It is in the past. She has fallen. Alright? So the present perfect tells us that the action, the accident, is in the past, but we do not know exactly when she fell on the floor. And the present perfect describes an event in the past, which is Anne fell on the floor, and it explains the situation in the present. Anne is not dancing ballroom. So always in the present perfect. Alright? That is very important. So it is in the past action with an effect or connection in the present. What is the present perfect? Well, the present perfect, the name is confusing because it is in fact a past tense. It describes an event in the past, but it does not describe exactly when it happened. Alright? So here is the time. Imagine this is the time. Here is the present, which is now. Here is the past, and here is the future. So the present perfect, it describes an action or event in the past, here, somewhere here, but we do not know exactly where or when. Maybe Anne fell on the floor here, or here maybe, or even here. Okay, we do not know with the present perfect. It is not important, and the events or actions in the past have an effect or connection with the present. Alright? Example: Sheila is sad because she has lost her purse. There is the present perfect, she has lost, and connection with the present. Sheila is now sad. Sheila is sad. And exactly when the purse lost is not important. It's not important when she lost her purse. Maybe she lost her purse yesterday, or last week, or even last month. It doesn't change anything. Sheila is still sad. The purse is still lost. The result in the present is the same. The purse is lost. So we use the present perfect simply to say that something has happened in the past. Another example: has she finished her chores? Here refers in the question form. Question form in the present perfect. Here, the connection with the present is it will help us make a decision if what she wants to do after she finishes her chores. But it is not important when she finishes her chores. It's either yes or no, she has finished her chores, or hasn't finished it. So it's yes or no. Has she finished her chores? It doesn't matter. It's not important when she finishes her chores. The result in the present is the same. So we use the present perfect for this situation. News reports. News reports in the media often use the present perfect at the start of the report to give a general summary. Example: a top New York City doctor who was on the front line of the U.S. fight against coronavirus has taken her own life. So, this is an example article in the newspaper. This is the beginning of an article. And you can see we use the present perfect to give a general summary of the news. And then after that, very often in news article, the past simple tense is then used to give more specific information. So, for example, the next paragraph is Dr. Lorna Breen, who was medical director of the emergency department at New York Presbyterian Allen Hospital in Manhattan, died of self-inflicted injuries on Sunday, police said. Now here we are giving more information about the news, and we are being more specific. We are saying where and when, and since it is now more specific, we use the past simple, inflicted, with ed. Inflicted. Alright? Unspecified time before now. So, we use the present perfect to simply say something happened in the past, but we do not know exactly when. Alright? So we use the present perfect with indefinite adverbs like words ever, never, once, before, so far, already, yet, and others. Alright? All of these words, we use them to say that something happened in the past, but we do not know exactly when. Example, I have never been to France. In black, have and been is the present perfect, and never is the adverb. Another example, have you ever seen a camel? So have and seen is the present perfect, ever is the adverb. Nobody has ever climbed that mountain. So in all of these example, in all of these cases, we use the present perfect to say that something has happened in the past, but it is not important when. Unspecified time experience. We can use the present perfect to describe new experience we have gained at unspecified time in the past. For example, I have been to Italy. This sentence means that you have had the experience of being in Italy. Maybe you have been there once or several times. Mike has studied 2 foreign languages. Have you ever met her? No, I have not met her. So these 3 examples use the present perfect to describe experience they or we have acquired in the past. Change over time. We use the present perfect to describe change that has evolved over a period of time. So for example, the government has become more interested in technology. Alright? So here we are using a present perfect to describe progressive change. My English has really improved since I moved to England. You have changed a lot since the last time I saw you. So again, in all these 3 examples, we are using a present perfect, has become, has really improved, or has improved, have changed. We use a present perfect to describe progressive change. An uncompleted action you are expecting. We use the present perfect to describe an action which we expected but it has not happened. So we are still waiting for the action to happen, or we are still waiting for something. And in fact, in the present, we are still waiting for the action to happen. Example, Bill has not finished his project yet. Peter has not mastered French, but he can communicate. So again, in black has finished, has mastered. We have the present perfect, and in red we have here not, yet, and not. These are adverbs which express that we are still waiting, we are still expecting something to happen. Notice that these examples are in negative. Has not finished, has not mastered. Several actions at different times. We can use the present perfect to describe several actions at different unspecified times in the past. And more actions are possible in the future. Examples: they've been to Singapore several times. She has watched that show 3 times this week. So, she has watched that show 3 times, and since more actions are possible in the future, maybe she has the intention of watching the 4th time, 5th time. It's not finished. So far in the past, she has watched the show 3 times. Duration from the past till now. We can use the present perfect to describe something that started in the past and has continued up until now, which is the present. And the action or event is continuing. It is not finished. Alright? But be careful. We can only do this with these 3 types of verbs. Number 1, non-continuous verbs: love, hate, want, be, need, etc. Number 2, non-continuous uses of mixed verbs: have, hear, feel, see, etc. And we also have these verbs: lived, work, teach, and study. So this rule here is only valid for these 3 types of verbs. Example: well, we can express duration: I've been using. We can express duration: I've been using for, followed by period of time, or since, followed by specific moment of time. So here is the present perfect. I have had a cold for 2 weeks. And another, for since, Anne has loved milk chocolate since she was a little girl. Okay? I have had this iPhone for 2 weeks. Or I have had this iPhone since last month. This is very important, that the action or event is continuing. It is not finished. Alright? Time expressions. In time expressions, the present perfect describes an event in the past, but it does not describe exactly when it happened. So here here we have the time we've already seen. We are describing an event sometime in the past. We do not know when. Example, I have been to Malaysia, for example, but we can limit the period of the past with unfinished expressions like in the last week, this week, or today. So here we can say I have been to Malaysia 2 times in the last month. Okay, again, so here again, I have been to Malaysia 2 times in the last month. And as you can see, the time period is shorter. So 2 times. The time period is shorter, so it meant that we have been to Malaysia 2 times between here and here, 1 month, but it is still an unspecified moment in time. We don't know exactly when we went to Malaysia. Then I have left my phone 3 times this week. So again, we are limiting the period of time, but it is still an unspecified moment during that period. Be careful in the last month. Be careful, guys. In the last month, this week. Be careful in the last month. This does not mean last month. Okay, here. Be careful, guys, here. In the last month, this does not mean last month. This is the difference. Last month means the previous month. It is a specific time. It is a specific time or the past simple. But here, in the last month, it is a period of time from 1 month ago until now. Present perfect. Alright? So again, here in the last month, period of time from 1 month ago until now. So we use the present perfect. Alright? So we are just making the period in the past shorter, but still an unspecified moment during that period. Alright? Present perfect or past simple. There are 3 main differences. Present perfect, it is an unfinished actions that started in the past and continue to the present. I have taught at international school for 3 years. I still work there. So in the past simple, it is a finished actions. I taught at international school for 3 years. I no longer work there. Second difference, a finished action at an unspecified time with a connection to the present. Please call an ambulance. I have broken my leg. Past simple, it is a finished action at a specific time without a connection to the present. I broke my leg yesterday. It was terrible. And number 3 difference, we use unfinished time expressions. This week, this month, in the last week. But in the past simple, we use finished time expressions like yesterday, last month, 2 weeks ago. So that's the difference, and very important, we do not use the present perfect with a finished time expressions. We do not say I have broken my leg. We do not say I have broken my leg yesterday. That is wrong. If we want to use yesterday, we must say I broke my leg yesterday. Alright? So there we are. That's the end of this lesson. And if you want to watch the first part of this video, here is the video, the form of the present perfect, and other videos that you might be interested in. Just click the video and the video will start. Okay? Thank you very much guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.